but he doesn't live in Singapore. People always ask me, "Where did you meet your husband?" Some expect me to say, "At work." Others guess, "University." A few even ask, "Dating app?" I simply smile. No. We met because I missed my bus in New Zealand. They laugh, thinking I'm joking. I'm not. If I had caught that bus in Queenstown, New Zealand, I would never have met Nathan Carter. The man who would one day make me question whether love was worth living 7,000 kilometers apart. My name is Emma Tan. I'm 26 years old. I work as an HR manager in Singapore. I genuinely enjoy my job. I enjoy helping people. But after 3 years of back-to-back recruitment drives, performance reviews, training programs and endless meetings, I was exhausted. One Monday morning my manager looked at me. "When was your last holiday?" I thought for a moment. "Before COVID." He frowned. "Emma." "Yes?" "Go away." "What?" "Not permanently. Just take leave." Most of my friends couldn't travel. One had just bought an apartment. Another was getting married. Another was expecting a baby. So I booked a ticket. Alone. Destination: New Zealand. My mother nearly fainted. "You're traveling alone?" "Yes." "So far?" "Yes." "What if you get lost?" "I have Google Maps." "What if your phone battery dies?" "I have a power bank." "What if the power bank dies?" "Dad. Please help." Dad looked up from the newspaper. "She's 26. Let her go." Mum folded her arms. "You're taking her side?" Dad smiled. "No. I'm taking the airline's side. They've already sold her the ticket." Queenstown was breathtaking. Snow-capped mountains. Crystal clear lake. Cool fresh air. I spent the first morning wandering through the town. I stopped for coffee. Then a bakery. Then another bakery. Because holiday calories don't count. Eventually I reached the bus stop. Just in time to watch my bus pull away. "No." I waved dramatically. The driver smiled apologetically and kept driving. I sighed. Perfect. A voice beside me laughed. "Missed it too?" I turned. Tall. Dark blonde hair. Green eyes. Wearing a hiking jacket. Holding a camera. He smiled. I was buying meat pies. I held up my paper bag. I blamed the cinnamon scroll. He nodded seriously. Worthy sacrifice. The next bus wouldn't arrive for 45 minutes. So he extended his hand. "I'm Nathan." "Emma." "Singapore?" I blinked. "How did you know?" He grinned. "You apologized to the bus." I laughed. "We do that?" "You actually said, 'Sorry, I missed you.'" I covered my face. Oh dear. By the time the bus arrived, we'd already been talking for almost an hour. Nathan lived in Auckland. He was almost 30. An architect. He'd taken 2 weeks off to photograph New Zealand's South Island. "I know." He laughed. "I'm a tourist in my own country." "I think that's wonderful." He smiled. "My grandmother says, you don't appreciate your home until you become a visitor." We got off at the same stop. Coincidence. Then walked in the same direction. Coincidence. Then both took the wrong hiking trail. Definitely coincidence. After 20 minutes, Nathan looked at the map. "I don't think we're supposed to be here." I looked around. There aren't many people. There are sheep. There are many sheep. One sheep looked at us. Almost judgmentally. I laughed. I think even the sheep know we're lost. Nathan sighed dramatically. I designed buildings. Not hiking trails. Eventually. We found the correct path. At the summit. The view was spectacular. Snow-covered peaks. Blue water. Silence. Nathan unpacked his lunch. I made sandwiches. I looked at my backpack. I brought potato chips. He laughed. I see who prepared. I was optimistic. He cut one sandwich in half. Trade? I'd feel bad. I won't. You sure? I've always wanted to try Singaporean potato chips. I handed him a packet. He took one bite. These are spicy. I smiled proudly. We don't believe in boring snacks. Halfway down the mountain. The weather changed. Rain. Heavy rain. Within seconds. We sprinted toward a small shelter. Both soaked. Nathan looked at me. You all right? I think my socks are floating. He laughed. I've got spare socks. You travel with spare socks? I'm an architect. We prepare. I shook my head. HR people prepare too. Really? I've got 6 pens. He stared. In your backpack? You never know. He laughed until he couldn't breathe. That evening. Nathan insisted. If you're in New Zealand, you need proper fish and chips. We found a tiny family-run shop by the lake. The owner smiled. First date? Both of us answered immediately. No. The owner grinned. Give it time. Nathan looked at me. Does this happen everywhere? I laughed. I think old people have a secret radar. The funny thing about holidays is how quickly time disappears. 1 day became 2. 2 became 3. We visited wineries, farmers markets, small towns, hidden cafes. We spent hours talking about family, work, dreams, failures, travel, everything. Except what happened after the holiday. Neither of us wanted to ask. On the 4th evening, I called home. Mum answered immediately. Everything all right? Everything's wonderful. You sound happy. I am. What happened? Oh. I met someone. Silence. Then. A Singaporean? No. Australian? Yes. Another silence. Longer this time. Finally. Dad's voice appeared in the background. What did I tell you? Mum ignored him. Is he nice? Very. Does he respect you? Yes. Then. Another pause. Take your time. I smiled. I will. Dad shouted again. And remember. Don't bring home a rugby team. I burst into laughter. On my final evening, Nathan and I sat beside Lake Wakatipu. Neither of us said much. Sometimes, silence is comfortable. Sometimes, it says everything. Finally, Nathan spoke. I wish. What? We lived in the same country. I smiled sadly. So do I. He skipped a small stone across the lake. I don't know what happens after tomorrow. Neither do I. But. He turned toward me. I'm really glad. You missed that bus. I smiled. I was just thinking exactly the same thing. The next morning. Queenstown Airport felt strangely quiet. Nathan hugged me. Not too tightly. Just enough. So. Have a safe flight. You too. He smiled. I'll message you. I'd like that. As I walked toward immigration, I turned around one last time. He was still standing there, watching. Then he waved. I waved back. And boarded the plane. I told myself. It was just a holiday. It was just a lovely friendship. It was just good timing. My heart clearly had other ideas. Because somewhere over the Tasman Sea, I realized something. For the first time in years, I wasn't thinking about going home. I was thinking about the person I'd just left behind. And that frightened me. Because falling in love is easy. Falling in love with someone who lives in another country is an entirely different adventure. People say there's no place like home. Normally, I'd agree. The moment I landed at Changi Airport, everything felt familiar. The orderly immigration queues. The warm humid air. The comforting sound of Singlish all around me. Even hearing someone say, bro. Faster la. Made me smile. But something was different. For the first time, home felt like it was missing someone. Time zones are funny things. When I woke up in Singapore, Nathan was getting ready for bed in Auckland. Our first video call lasted almost 3 hours. So. He smiled. How's work? The same. And you? I spent all day drawing. Architect problems? He laughed. Exactly. Then we just talked. About nothing. About everything. Some nights we'd sit quietly, each doing our own thing. He'd be sketching. I'd be answering a few emails. Neither of us minded the silence. It felt like we were simply sharing the same room. Even though an ocean separated us. One Sunday morning, Mom walked into the kitchen. Who are you smiling at? I nearly dropped my phone. No one. She looked at the screen. Oh. The New Zealand boy. I laughed. You've given him a title already? She nodded. Much easier than remembering Nathan. Dad looked up from his copy. I remember. You do? He owes me New Zealand lamb. I burst into laughter. What? He invited us. I'm collecting. 3 months passed. I hope you love the story that we brought you. This story was created by Pearl. Please remember to subscribe and like so that we can continue to create more stories. One Friday afternoon, my receptionist called. Emma? Yes? There's someone downstairs asking for you. I didn't arrange any meetings. Well, he says you'll probably smile. Curious. I went downstairs. There, standing in the lobby with a backpack and a grin, was Nathan. I stopped walking. What are you doing here? He shrugged innocently. I had 10 days of annual leave. And? I missed someone. I laughed. You flew almost 10 hours. Just because you missed me? He smiled. Worth every minute. This time, I wasn't the tourist. He was. So I made a list. Maxwell Food Center. East Coast Park. The Southern Ridges. Old Airport Road Food Center. The Botanic Gardens. A neighborhood coffee shop near my parents' home. Nathan looked at the list. This is your Singapore? I nodded. Not the tourist version. The real one. I like real. We sat at a neighborhood capicium. The uncle walked over. What drink? Nathan looked at me confidently. I've been practicing. He turned to the uncle. Kopi. Si, kosong, pong? The uncle stared. I stared. Nathan smiled proudly. The uncle scratched his head. You want hot? Cold? Milk? No milk? Nathan looked at me helplessly. I think I've invented a new coffee. The uncle burst into laughter. For you. I make special. The whole coffee shop laughed. For the rest of the week, the uncle greeted Nathan with, Special coffee man. I hope you love the story that we brought you. This story was created by Pearl. Please remember to subscribe and like so that we can continue to create more stories. On the fourth day, Dad invited Nathan for breakfast. Just the two of them. I wasn't allowed. What are you two doing? Dad smiled. Man talk. Mom whispered to me. Interview. I paced around the house for almost 2 hours. When they returned, both were laughing. What happened? Dad smiled. I like him. I blinked. That's it? He listens. He doesn't interrupt. He doesn't pretend to know everything. Nathan added quietly. And your dad beat me at Chinese chess. Dad grinned proudly. Twice. The next afternoon, Nathan wanted to visit Orchard Road. Halfway through shopping, he suddenly disappeared. I looked everywhere. No Nathan. 5 anxious minutes later, he came running back. I'm so sorry. Where did you go? He looked embarrassed. I saw an old auntie carrying 6 shopping bags. So I helped her. I looked at him. That's why you vanished? He nodded. She refused. But eventually accepted. I smiled. You know. What? My dad would approve. The night before he flew home, we walked along Marina Bay. Neither of us wanted the evening to end. Finally, Nathan stopped walking. Emma. Can I ask you something? Always. How long can we do this? I knew exactly what he meant. The flights. The time zones. The goodbyes. I don't know. He nodded. Neither do I. But I know I don't want to stop trying. I reached for his hand. Neither do I. 3 months later. It was my turn. Christmas. Summer. In New Zealand. Everything felt wrong. People wore shorts. Barbecues instead of steamboat. Sunny skies. No shopping malls playing Christmas songs at full volume. Nathan laughed at my confusion. You all right? It's Christmas. Yes. Why is everyone wearing slippers? He grinned. Welcome to the Southern Hemisphere. His parents welcomed me warmly. His mother hugged me. So you're Emma. Nathan sighed. Mum. What? I've heard so much about you. His father smiled. I thought Singapore was only famous for the airport. I laughed. We have other things. Nathan interrupted. Food. His parents laughed. We've noticed. Nathan's grandmother was 90. Sharp as ever. She watched us quietly all afternoon. Just before dinner, she called me over. Emma. Yes? You make him laugh. I smiled. He makes me laugh too. She nodded. Good. Life gets difficult. You'll need that. I never forgot those words. Every goodbye became harder. At Auckland Airport, Nathan hugged me tightly. This never gets easier. I shook my head. No. He smiled sadly. Promise me something. What? If this becomes too difficult, we'll talk honestly. No pretending? No pretending. No silent suffering? No. I nodded. I promise. 6 months later. We had become experts. Experts at airport hugs. Experts at calculating time zones. Experts at saying, "See you soon," instead of "Goodbye." One Friday evening, as I was leaving work, my phone rang. "Nathan. You sound excited." "I am." "What happened?" "I've been offered something." "Oh?" "A position. In Singapore." My heart skipped. "Really?" "For 2 years." I leaned against the office wall, unable to speak. Then, very quietly, I whispered, "Maybe 7,000 kilometers is finally about to become 0. I don't think I've ever smiled so much at Changi Airport. This time, I wasn't saying goodbye. I was saying, "Welcome home." Nathan walked through the arrival gates pushing 2 large suitcases. I looked at them. "Only 2?" He laughed. "I sold half my furniture. And my mom said if this doesn't work, I'm buying everything again." I laughed. "That's a very mom thing to say." He nodded. "It certainly is." Nathan rented an apartment near Tanjong Pagar, close to his new office. Close enough that we could meet after work. Every evening became an adventure. He wanted to learn everything. He learned how to use PayNow. He bought an EasyLink card. He proudly announced one evening, "I didn't get lost changing trains today." I clapped dramatically. "Excellent progress." He bowed. "I'd like to thank the Circle Line map." Before long, Nathan had developed a new Saturday routine. Every Saturday morning, he disappeared with my father. They met at the same neighborhood Capitium. Drank kopi. Discussed football. Complained about the weather. Argued over which hawker made the best chicken rice. One Saturday I decided to follow them. Quietly. I sat 2 tables away. Dad looked at Nathan. So, you still happy?" Nathan smiled. "Very." Dad nodded. "Good." Long silence. Then Dad asked, "Can cook?" Nathan laughed. "A little." "Can wash dishes?" "Yes." Dad nodded. "Even better." Mom had her own test. Cooking. One Sunday she invited Nathan into the kitchen. "I'm making dumplings." Nathan smiled. "Teach me." 2 hours later. The dumplings looked creative. Some were round. Some looked like little pillows. One looked suspiciously like Australia. Mum laughed until tears rolled down her cheeks. She held up the strange-shaped dumpling. "This one. We don't eat. We frame." Nathan couldn't stop laughing. The funny thing about finally living in the same country was that life became wonderfully ordinary. We argued over whose turn it was to buy groceries. We debated where to eat every Friday night. We watched movies. Visited my parents every Sunday. Video called his parents every weekend. One evening I looked at him and smiled. "What? I missed this." "What?" "Being able to argue with you in person." He laughed. "I've missed losing arguments face to face." Almost 2 years passed. Then, Nathan came home unusually quiet. "I've received another offer." I looked at him. "Where?" He took a deep breath. "Seattle." My heart sank. "The headquarters?" He nodded. "They'd like me to lead the company." I sat silently. Neither of us wanted another long-distance relationship. Not after everything we'd been through. Finally I asked, "What do you want?" He looked at me. "I want you." The job is second. That Sunday, Dad invited me for a walk. We wandered through the neighborhood park. I hear there's another job. There is. You worried? A little. Dad smiled. When your mother married me, I earned very little. We lived in a tiny flat. We didn't know what the future looked like. I smiled. What changed? He looked at me. Nothing. What do you mean? We still didn't know. We simply chose to face the unknown together. He stopped walking. Sally. He laughed. I mean Emma. I've got too many stories in my head. We both laughed. Then he continued. Home isn't an address. It's the person waiting for you when you unlock the front door. One Friday evening, Nathan asked me to meet him at the Singapore Botanic Gardens. The gardens? Trust me. We walked through the orchid garden. Eventually we reached a quiet bench. Nathan smiled. Remember Queenstown? I remember missing a bus. I remember a cinnamon scroll. I remember someone apologizing to a bus. I laughed. I'll never live that down. He reached into his pocket. This time, I checked. The ring is definitely here. I burst into laughter. Good. He slowly knelt. Emma. I thought I met an interesting traveler. Instead, I met my best friend. You've shown me that love isn't measured by distance. It's measured by the willingness to keep choosing each other. I don't know whether we'll spend our lives in Singapore, or New Zealand, or somewhere neither of us has imagined yet. But I know one thing. I never want to imagine tomorrow. Without you. He opened the ring box. Will you marry me? My eyes filled with tears. There is only one answer. What? Yes. Absolutely yes. That evening, Nathan visited my parents. He wanted to ask Dad properly. Dad poured tea. So, you've already asked Emma. I have. She said yes. She did. Dad nodded. I thought she might. Nathan smiled nervously. I'd still like your blessing. Dad looked at him for several seconds. Then smiled. You've had it. Since the day you helped your mother wash the dishes. Nathan blinked. You noticed? Dad laughed. I notice everything. Our wedding blended both worlds. A traditional Chinese tea ceremony, followed by a garden reception. My relatives taught Nathan's family how to use chopsticks. His father tried chili crab. He turned bright red. Dad handed him a tissue. No shame. We all cried first time. Grandma taught Nathan's nieces how to say Gong Xie Kai. Nathan's grandmother taught my little cousins an old New Zealand folk song. It felt less like two cultures meeting, and more like one very large family. During the wedding banquet, Nathan whispered, Your father was right. What? Walking to every table is my favorite part. Every table had a story. A teacher. An old neighbor. My first manager. His university friends. My cousins. His grandparents watching on a live video call from Auckland. Every handshake reminded us. Love isn't built by two people alone. It's supported by everyone who loves them. 10 years later, people still ask us. So, where's home? Nathan usually smiles. Depends who's asking. If we're in Singapore, he says, we're going back to New Zealand for Christmas. If we're in New Zealand, he says, we're going home to Singapore next month. Our children find it perfectly normal. They speak English with little bits of Singlish mixed in. They love kaya toast. They love meat pies. They celebrate Chinese New Year. They celebrate Christmas in the summer. One evening, our eldest daughter asked, "Mummy?" "Yes?" "Where did you and Daddy meet?" I smiled. "Because I missed a bus." She frowned. "Really?" Nathan laughed. "Your mom nearly blamed the bus driver." I did not. "You apologized to the bus." I was being polite. Our children burst into laughter. Nathan looked at me. "You know." "What?" "I'm glad you missed that bus." I smiled. "So am I." Looking back, life could have been very different. If I'd skipped breakfast. If I'd caught that bus. If I'd chosen a different holiday. But life has a funny way of bringing two people together. Sometimes it isn't through careful planning. Sometimes it's through a missed bus, a cinnamon scroll, a shared laugh, and two people who decided that 7,000 kilometers was never going to be bigger than love. The end. I hope you enjoyed this story. It was created by Pearl with Drama Spark. If this story touched your heart, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who believes in love. Here, we're honored to bring you stories of hope, love, and the resilience of the human spirit.